Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures, and look what finally came! Something I have been looking forward to and eagerly anticipating. The new Wargames Atlantic Cannon Fodder for the Death Fields, where the greatest sport is war! 30 dudes in jumpsuits, and the greatest thing about this kit is it's going to be a very versatile kit. Generic looking guys, and soon to be girls, with an assortment of basic spacey weapons. Only their helmets protect them as the methane-breathing techno-raptors close in for the kill. I don't have any techno-raptors yet, do I? I don't know. That's something I'm going to have to think about now. Is that something we have coming soon from Wargames Atlantic? Who's to know? But I would certainly be game for some Techno Raptors, hint hint. Alright, so what do we got in the box? We got a bunch of bodies on these sprues with a bunch of heads. Somewhere there should be some weapons, I would imagine, as well. I haven't got to those. There we go. Okay. So again, a box, you had enough to build 30 cannon fodder troopers, and let's take a look at the bodies themselves. Brighten that up a little bit. So you can see here, they're all in very clearly designed jumpsuits and zippered front pockets, generic plain looking boots. We've got a crouching body on each sprue. You have some bald-headed penal trooper types with the shock collars or bomb straps or whatever you want to have on there. You've got some guys in regular hats. You've got some Starship Trooper style grunt helmets, and quite a bit of variety of facial features on those. But what I'm really excited about are the generic gas masked heads. So you have enough for the entire squad. Everybody on that sprue. We have backpacks for everybody with all sorts of various trappings on them. It's kind of a nice touch. Some generic, I don't know what those are, ammo pouches, clips, things of that nature. We've got the officer type arms here with a pistol and empty hand, easily converted. We've got, looks like most of the guns are, yeah, what I thought, only being held by one hand. We've got an extra spare rifle with no hands on it for whatever you wish to do. Plenty of gripping hands. Here's some interesting things. We've got chains. If you want to strap them on their legs, their arms, wherever. And what looks like either a sniper scope or a spyglass or something. Looks like a scope of some sort. But nothing to stop you from just gluing it on somewhere else. Nice thing about these is I am sure they're going to work great with the other human-sized Death Field kits so far that Wargames Atlantic has put out. I'm actually kind of curious how well they'll work with some of the other stuff, like their Roman Legion or their Lizard Men, or, you know, I think there's so many different kits that they put out at this point. You could probably have a lot of fun just cobbling stuff together. I know one of the things I'm going to be headed for is looking for my Stargrave bits and see what I can do there. So, sit tight. I'm going to at least build a squad of these guys, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so you guys probably already saw the two painted samples I put together here. Just really simple, very plain, very, well, you know, stock. But, you know, I think the plainness actually is seriously an advantage to these guys with just a plain blue jumpsuit and a nondescript looking mask. I mean, you can use these guys for practically anything. You know, crazed cult members, some kind of near future insurgents, sci-fi baddies, which is what I decided, you know, red suited guys are obviously going to be. And when I started putting together some of these red-suited ones, or at least this one specifically, there's a couple others that I've been tooling around with upstairs on my painting table that just haven't had their shot in the limelight yet. My first thought was Visitors from V. Unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot of pistols on the sprue, which is what I would have totally done. And funny enough, this lizard head works wonderfully. And you can see he's scavenged up all sorts of bits here. And he's totally going to get a red jumpsuit because they are our friends. The visitors are our friends. Dude, it was like, I think I was in kindergarten when the original V miniseries came out. That was a few years ago. Just a few. And then after I started screwing around with that, I absolutely couldn't help myself. And I started grabbing like some of those Dead Man's Hand parts, although I think that might be an AdMech gun. Because he's going to be ducking for cover. And then since I was already sticking Roman-esque parts on that lizard-headed guy, I figured why not? I had some mohawks from something and tons of spare swords from some Gaul warriors, I believe. It seemed appropriate. Then why not have some honest-to-goodness Romans, right? Need some Romans on up in here. And one thing you might notice, and I don't know where I put the actual figures, these are not cannon fodder arms. I'm like pointing at it, trying to figure out what was I going to say. Yeah, they're not cannon fodder arms. Those are actually Stargrave mercenary hands. And I was pleasantly surprised to see that they fit quite well. So if you wanted to do some cross-compatibility there, I think that's totally something that's going to work. Very similar proportions. I don't think you're going to have a whole lot of issues. So that's what I've got ready to play with today. But I thought, you know what? It would be a good idea to show you guys just how large these are as well, because I like to do that. Obviously, grabbing the typical Space Marine, you can see, so there is a good size difference there than a typical GW Marine, especially more so if you go the traditional, or not traditional, new traditionalists by Devo. We're really just stream of consciousing things here. See some size issues, but when you get, like, let's say some Trader Guard in there, you can see size-wise, they're going to work pretty well. So if you wanted to bulk up some Trader Legion forces, this might not be a bad idea, especially if you have access to all sorts of corrupted, messed up bits, which is easy enough to get a hold of. Grabbing a 3D printed figure here, you can see. So they're going to fit right in, I think, with typical Guard human-sized models. And another nice thing is I think there's going to be a lot of nice compatibility with current existing Wargames Atlantic kits as well. So if you wanted to have, for example, Dark Age Irish running around with, laser guns and bayonets, that should be totally doable. I think the size of the arms is going to work great. And you are going to have a few left over, especially if you don't use all of the, well, if you use the special weapons, or if you start goofing around like I am, you're definitely going to end up with a few extra bits there. So that might be something fun if you want to have some really converted up cannon fodder, guys trying to make a living in the death fields there. Grabbing a few others. I think that might be a challenge, but if you wanted to have some boneheaded undead gunmen, hey, why not, right? That might be something to be fun. I was thinking it might be fun to get some of the RGB centaurs and arm them up. The arms are a little bit thicker, but I think considering the size, and he's got the already armored breastplate on, you know what, why not? We can pretend he's got a shirt on underneath there, right? I want to have, laser cannon shooting centaurs. That sounds like something. Just like top hat wearing spiders, right? Grabbing a few other random models we've got laying around if you guys want to get a good idea of size here. Shield Wolf Sister. Gates of Antares human. Mantic Asterian mech. So, I don't know. The Gates of Antares stuff might be a little bit shorter, but then again, they're on smaller bases. Mantic stuff being a little bit taller, but then again, those are robots. I don't know why, but I have an old Basilian here. If you wanted to have a fancy plumed Basilian, actually, that's a good size. Those are the old Basilians, though. Somewhere I have a new Basilian waiting to have his moment in the spotlight. I don't know where he went. If you wanted to stick them on Frostgrave, guys, that would probably work, considering they're just about the same size as the Stargrave stuff, and we've already seen some nice cross-compatibility there. There's my Basilian. If you wanted to mix things up and have, like I said, some more kind of feudal-looking guys, I think the Basilians might be a fun one. Or if you really wanted to go, you know, low-tech, old-school, like I said, I think the Dark Age Irish might be a fun one to convert with as well. Me, I'm going to be holding on to my extra sprues at this point because with the upcoming female kits, and I thought I'd seen some stuff about future heavy weapons, and I probably will end up with another box or so. I am just going to stockpile and hoard for a bit and see what else I can come up with. Oh, you know what? Some of their fawns and satyrs might be fun to have with the weapons, but again, you're going to run into the issue of the sleeved arms versus, you know, just the kind of thin, naked ones that the more animalistic guys have. But if you want to have a bunch of abhumans, hey, I'm all for it, right? I am all for it. And now that I think about it, I don't have any of the Wargames Atlantic Harrier guys. I think I need to rectify that, and I think I have a sprue laying around somewhere as it is. I'd better get on top of that, shouldn't I? Well, in that case, that means I need to stop this and go hunting through all of the unused sprues laying around the house, and hopefully we will find those. So, if you haven't had a chance to check this kit out, I think it's a really fun kit, a lot of potential, one of my favorites that came out in 2021, and I am absolutely looking forward to just putting these guys out in bright, simple, monocolor schemes and just going to town with it. I think there's going to be a lot of fun there. So with that said, we'll have a link down below. You guys can take a look at this stuff yourself if you hadn't had a chance. And this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.